Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. ICRC presents a new way to help families and the community cope with and manage the challenges of caregiving with a form of audio respite. The Inland Caregivers Corner podcast is made to provide insight on caregiving, stories of encouragement, and tips on self-care. This information is coming from staff of ICRC, those who assist seniors, and members of the community. My name is Crystal, and I'll be hosting this extra episode for the month of March. We're ending the month of March, but that doesn't mean that we still can't celebrate the fact that the month of March is Social Work Appreciation Month, and there was also Women's Appreciation. So we have both holidays in this month of March, which is why I invited the Thrive team. So the Thrive team, we have Matilde, Maddie, Aida, Francesca, and Jennifer Lopez. So welcome, ladies. Thank you guys for doing the podcast with me. I do just have a couple questions. Again, like I said, it's Social Work Month. I know that most of us in this agency, we are social workers. But what made you want to become a social worker?
I think I'll go first. So I think all of us have a story, a personal story that I remember when I started the program. That was, I learned that the very first day, everybody shared a personal story. And I can tell you that with me being a daughter of immigrant parents, when I was very, very young, I learned that I would be the one in charge of helping my mom, helping my family, my neighbors, with helping with translation, helping with paperwork. So I think that's where I found my passion about helping, and especially within my community. I soon became an advocate for my aunts, for friends, from people coming from Mexico, filling out immigration paperwork. So and then as I grew older, of course, when I became a mother myself and I needed assistance, I would go into public services, and I found, I learned that there was a need within our community. So I think that's when I said, you know what, I want to go into this field. I want to be one of those who are going to be able to help people and just find a way to be of support. And I learned that social worker do that. They are not only trained or equipped to help with legal matters or paperwork, but they also provide emotional support. And I think that's when I fell in love with this profession.
Yeah, I agree with Aida. I think all of us that step into the field of social work have that kind of innate need or want to help. For me specifically, my journey kind of meandered a little bit. I originally wanted to go to medical school to become a physician. And then my sophomore year, organic chemistry happened. And I realized, the sciences are not for me. But I had always had that love for helping people. And that was always kind of what drove me even to want to go into medicine. But, it took until after my undergrad and I was working in the nonprofit sector that I even really realized what social work was. I, like many, I think, have had a negative connotation of social work. I thought of social work, being a social worker equated to being like a CPS worker. And once I started talking to people who were actually in the field, it really was so far from the truth. I mean, that is definitely a very big employer of social workers, people who work in CPS. However, social workers do everything from, we can do legislation stuff, we can do advocacy, we can run our own nonprofits, we can have our own private practices. So the array of things that a social worker can do is very vast. And that's what really drew me in. So not only did I have this opportunity to really just get in there and help people, which is what I have always been drawn to do, but I had this career opportunity that, with one, I have my master's degree, but with a master's degree, you can do so many different things. We can become licensed, which then again allows us the ability to become independent practitioners, which is pretty cool to be able to do with a master's degree. A lot of times, in certain other fields, you may need a doctorate. So, but yeah, again, really that root of what brings us all here, I think, And what I've heard from being in, school and meeting other social workers is just that love for helping people and wanting to pour into the communities that we serve. What social workers, we help underserved individuals, and that, can mean an array of things. And to be able to help someone navigate that and give them hope and be able to walk that journey with them is so powerful and so inspirational, that our job is difficult, but it really makes it worth it when you can make the impact in any client's life. So yeah.
And I've heard, sorry, Maddie. I was just going to say, I've heard that, a lot of people say, social work is a hard profession, and I don't think it gets enough credit. Yeah. Maddie, you were going to say something?
Yeah. So I wanted to say that for me, I think it started with my maternal grandmother and hearing her stories, her life. She was an old-fashioned nurse that would bring in people into her house, take care of them for free. So I heard that she was very caring. Everybody knew her in the neighborhood because she was so dedicated to helping others. So I grew up listening to the story. And I think that part of it, I think some of us are drawn into this field because of our own personal experiences and challenges. I know that for me, growing up with some issues, life didn't seem very fair. So I wanted to go into this field because I wanted to really, I wanted to help people with all kinds of issues with social injustice, social inequalities. When I came into this country, and being discriminated just for the fact that I spoke with an accent or I was from another part of the world, brought me into wanting to also challenge the racial injustice. Definitely, I wanted to be in this helping field because I wanted to do a lot more than just helping. I wanted to also teach. I wanted to advocate. I wanted to empower people, make good decisions for themselves. I wanted to do all this in a very supportive, non-judgmental way. So that's why I'm here today as a social worker. And yes, social work it's challenging, especially if we don't practice self-care for ourselves. Because we can be drawn into many, we hear a lot of sad stories. So if we don't practice self-care, then, we can also become a little bit sad about life in general. So we want to make sure that we incorporate that on a daily lives.
Do you guys all feel, I shouldn't be using the word guys. Do you all four, I know we have 4 women, actually 5, including myself. Do you feel that being a woman had an impact on you wanting to become a social worker? And then obviously there's barriers. Women have barriers all the time in the professional aspect or the professional world, but how has being a woman influenced your decision on being a social worker, or in my case, working in social services?
I feel that definitely the role expectations that society has in women to be nurturing, to be caring, to be loving, to bring in that sensitivity. I think that it does play a role, and it does draw us into the helping field. That's what I feel.
I just wanted to jump in on this question because I feel like prior, in even decades prior, I think it was common for women to have to pick, a career or a family, or, a career and, having a family, having children, and kind of having the best of both worlds. So then, in the current decade, it's not impossible to have both, to have the degree, to have the education, to have the career that you wanted, and have the children. It's challenging, especially working from home, but it's doable. It's much more accessible, especially like you can get a degree online. There's childcare. Even when I was in grad school, it was hard. It really was hard juggling, having a toddler and going to school. But it was important to me, not only for myself to do it, but to do it and show my child, like, you could do it. You could do both. It's exhausting, but it's doable.
I love that answer, Jennifer, because you're right. So it is difficult, but being a woman, being a daughter, being a caregiver, being a wife, and we have so many roles, and each role, we just continue to build on, and it makes us stronger. And I think yes, it is difficult, but because we have so many, those our personalities, our traits, and what we learned as we progress through these different roles, we just continue to strengthen those skills and all the experiences all together. It's all a combination that just makes us wonderful and just powerful. And what I like most, like you mentioned, Jennifer, is being able to be a role model to our daughters. I have a daughter myself, and I just want her to continue to believe that she can do it. She can do it. She can be a mother. She can be a professional, whatever she wishes to become, and be a wife, or if she chooses to be or not. But just knowing that I did my part in society to help her become a better person. I love that. So I don't think being a woman is a disadvantage at all.
That when you said, even you said, being a caregiver, because most women are viewed as caregivers, and all five of us, we work for an agency for seniors and caregivers, which transitions me to, all four of you are in the Thrive program. For any listeners that are listening to our podcast, hopefully they already have heard of Thrive, but if not, I do want to go ahead and introduce the Thrive program. Do we have a volunteer? Does anyone want to just give a snippet or something of what the Thrive program is? Who should be doing the Thrive program or completing it? Why would you recommend it? Anything that you want to say about the Thrive program?
Any of you three want to take it?
So our Thrive program, it's our
newest
program, that we are offering at ICRC, which we're super excited about. Currently, it's being offered only in Riverside County, but it is for our clients that are 60 plus that are, maybe feeling some symptoms of sadness, have seen that maybe they're isolating a little more, they're not really participating in the same activities that they have. And it's a program that is geared towards that. It's an evidence-based approach that we are following, which is CBT, which is a cognitive behavioral therapy program, and it's 16 to 20 sessions, 1 hour each, with a clinician, either myself, Aida, or Maddie. And right now we are offering both in-home or virtual. We're still, I think, more on the virtual side because of just safety precautions still with COVID. But again, it's an evidence-based approach that's very structured to really help alleviate some of these feelings of, again, sadness, social isolation, any changes in behavior. So if anybody feels like those are things that they're struggling with, it could be for an array of things. Our program could definitely be very beneficial for you, and we'd love to, maybe do a potential screening or talk to you more about the program. We don't have to even jump into the screening portion yet, but just giving you more information about it, because it is a really great program, and it's been kind of around for a while. And we're really excited to bring it to our seniors here at ICRC. So that's a gist of it in a nutshell. But like I said, any, more in depth, we'd love to give you more information about it.
Do any of you guys see yourselves working with, because I know, Francesca, you made a comment about most social workers are seen as child protective services. So it's we're over here, with the aging population, and it's making the topics of depression or sadness or, providing therapy or providing counseling, providing even, like Aida was saying, emotional support, just someone to talk to, someone to, have that empathy with them. Did you guys ever see yourself working with the aging population?
I actually
I
had
can
experience in the past. I'm sorry. Working with the elderly, and that's one of the things that attracted me to this position, was working again with the aging population.
I was going to say for myself, I've never through my internships or different experience, I never really worked with the older aging population. I had worked with adults, but not again the specific population. But I'm so happy now to be in this population. I think that there's still a lot of gaps in services that are out there, and it's really great. And I'm excited that we have an agency like ourselves that really targets that population, because I think that the services are very much needed. But again, that's what's so great about social work, is you never know where you're going to end up. And we can help clients across the lifespan. So that's pretty exciting. But
Jennifer, we have Jennifer, who's the supervisor of the Thrive program. If someone listening wants to call or get more information about Thrive, what do they do? How do they get into the Thrive program?
So there's actually a few different ways. So you're able to call the office. That number, I'll just throw it on, even though it's a podcast. It's 800-675-6694. You could call the office and let them know that you're interested in speaking with a Thrive mental health clinician. And they'll either transfer you to my work phone, or they'll just send you over directly to one of our Thrive counselors. Again, it's Maddie, Aida, and Francesca. You can also go on our website, which is inlandcaregivers.org. You can fill out the contact us page, and we'll give you a call and explore, a screening, getting that scheduled, and just reviewing our program with you and what that looks like. And there's also, if you're ever out in a community, one of our events, you see us, out at our like a resource fair or health fair, please stop by. You could fill out a referral form there. And then if you're already connected to our agency, you're attending a support group or anything, let the facilitator know, or a class, let the facilitator know that you're interested in the Thrive program and getting more information, or, again, just going over a screening to see if this program is not only a good fit for you, but if it's something that's going to help you, because we do have two programs. So, the better of two that would help you in your situation. So again, you can call the office, you can go on our website, or if you are in any support group or class, please ask the facilitator and they'll be happy to complete a referral form for you.
Thank you. And I'm going to close it off with Aida. So if anyone's listening, or maybe they're listening and they think of someone that can benefit from the Thrive program, or even another ICRC program, but they're Spanish speakers, Aida, can we still help them?
Oh, absolutely. Both Maddie and I are both bilingual, and we would love to have our Spanish speakers come and participate in the program, because studies do show that the Latinx population do experience depression, yet they don't pursue services. So the rates of suicide attempts are high out there, and they don't pursue services. So we want them to know that there is help. These are free services. Right now, this new program, it's called Thrive. And what we didn't say is why we came up with Thrive. The name itself is because we want our seniors to thrive at aging. While aging, we don't just want them to survive, we want them to thrive. So we want our people our clients to have productive lives, no matter what the stage they're at. So queremos que nuestros clientes brillen. We want them to thrive. So yes, please contact us. We'd be more than glad to help you, both English and Spanish. Maddie and I are bilingual, and Francesca. So all three of us are more than willing to be of support for you. So Francesca's working with our English speakers, but Maddie and I are bilingual.
So we have 3 mental health clinicians. We have our supervisor for both our programs, for Thrive and for Pearls. So anyone listening, if you guys want more information, I know Jennifer said the phone number, but I'm going to say it one more time. It's 1-800-675-6694. And I want to thank Maddie, Aida, Francesca, and Jennifer for doing this podcast with me. Hopefully we can get all of you to come back, and then we'll do another podcast and give more information, or maybe we can give an update.
Thank you. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal, for having us.
If yourself, a neighbor, friend, relative, or colleague needs resources with caregiving, please contact Inland Caregivers Resource Center at 1-800-675-6694. Add us on Facebook at facebook.com/ICRC1985. Also follow us on Instagram. Our handles at Inland Caregivers. Like and subscribe to Inland Caregiver Resource Center on YouTube. And of course, check out our website at www.inlandcaregivers.org. Please keep listening to Inland Caregivers Corner for more information and resources as we continue to cope with and manage the challenges of caregiving and aging together. I'm Crystal, and just a reminder to continue to care for yourself, your loved ones, and your community. Take care.